so cool. So, for us young cinema makers, this is such a rare event. Normally, the budget is more important and detailed preparation as well. But here, we can make movies in wonderful locations just in 7 days. I mean, that was the most interesting idea from the same beginning. And I think it's going to be a fascinating story. It's incredible. I can't even imagine how much work has been already made here. And the team that organized it, they're wonderful. This is an incredible work. Kazan is one of the biggest cities in Russia. They produce cinema. They make movies. We keep in touch with many guys from Kazan. And I know that if this sphere is developing here and your experience is available for us, this is a way to challenge yourself. You concentrate your attention on everything because you lack time. You don't know how it's gonna go, and it's so challenging. That's a real adventure. You know, this is such a wonderful event, a festival. It's incredible how they try to gather all together and do a movie in just several days. This is a real battle. This is a competition. For them, this is all serious. This is the real competition. They make movies for free. Yes, there are certain prizes, but this is a true battle of ideas, of some non-standard solutions, and it's so stressful for them, of course. But they are professional, and they are ready for any platform. I hope that people are able to do. I hope they're gonna succeed. I like being here, and I hope people succeed in their project. People are wonderful, beautiful people here. We're shooting a comedy, and that's why the main prize for us is our viewers' love. We understand that this is the first competition, and when you do something for the first time, it's really hard. There are many issues, many questions that arise that you couldn't foresee before, but everybody is really professional, and I'm pleased being here. The challenge is that I'm in a country that I've never been before. I haven't heard about this culture before, and here I rely on my emotions and intuition as well. I think that nobody cares who's going to win the prize because the process itself is so interesting. It's a chance to meet new people, so you forget about anything else. The international team, they communicate in different languages. They are united by the same aim, same goal, and they have a chance to know more about cinema in their families, cinema in their countries, Some of participants, they are bearers of different cultures from different cultures from different countries. The hardest thing is to build up a team. I guess this is the most difficult thing. There's a certain goal. You have just 1 week. And you have to make a movie with a completely new team. I think this is the most complicated thing. The public development of culture in this territory. And when we started thinking about some festivals, about some events in Kazan, in cinema, of course there is a cinema festival of Muslim cinema festival, and we understood that we have to attract some professionals, some experts. And it's a kind of challenging task because you need to have quite a big budget, which is quite rare when you try to develop cultural initiatives in a region. And sometimes it's really hard to attract some teams, movie makers. So the idea was quite simple: to invite young cinema makers from all over the world who seek for opportunities to develop their competences and skills. We been selecting scripts for like 6 months, and there were certain requirements. The only limitation, the only requirement was that it should be located in Kazan. We selected 10 teams. They had to shoot movies in Kazan during the week. Of course, we also consider the professional background of the team, their previous projects, their education. We paid for transfer and for accommodation in Kazan. Also, we organized the whole logistics, transportation, and so on. We didn't pay them. They worked for free, and they either brought their equipment or rented it in Kazan. We also attracted actors from Kazan. The team normally consisted of 3 people, and by the end of the festival, each team became like 15, 20 people, including volunteers, local actors, and so on and so forth. Of course, that was a lot of preparatory work. When those teams came, they already understood a lot about the location, but that was anyway a real battle. We had 3 prizes for the teams, and of course there were some unexpected situations, like someone was sick, the weather was bad, but anyway they were able to come and shoot those 10 movies. We invited an international jury, and they had to lose the best movie. The chairman of the jury board was Lavranduru, who is quite an influencer in this field in France. Yuko Pekka, he's the director of the festival in Finland, cinema festival in Finland. one of the most remarkable festivals in Finland. Hanna Delamega from Belarus. Now she is the head of the agency responsible for distribution of movies around the world. And two other jury members are Oleg Berezin, the head of the company that became a partner, and Alexei Barykin, the director from Kazan.
So, and the jury delivered its verdict, and the teams that we had them from following countries: China, Germany, Greece, France, Switzerland, and one team from Nalchik, one team from Moscow, and one team from St. Petersburg, Russia. So all three teams Russia. So we had international teams and 3 Russian teams. So what I want to say is, first of all, that we managed to reach our main objective, because this circle of people that we formed during these 7 days, when all the people stayed together and we all communicated during breakfast and having dinners and spent some time together, and we always had some brainstorming sessions, etc. So all this creative atmosphere, it was wonderful. And the most important thing is that a lot of people, like students from the cultural institutes from Kazan, could join us, and some artists that were participated in the crowd or in movies, they also could join us, also technical personnel. So the main objective was to join all the people together, and this industry is very well developed in Tatarstan and in Russia, but also to share experience from other cinematographers from other cultures, to bring it here to Kazan. So the second thing that I would love to tell you is that based on the contract that we signed, that every team signed, so every team had rights for one film, and 1 year later, I know that in many countries during various festivals, for example in Finland, 3 movie winners were presented and shown during the Finland festival in Tampere in the beginning of March 2020, before the pandemic started. So I think it's a very good promo resource for the whole Tatarstan, and it's not just a documentary or a short movie about the Republic, about the life of Kazan and Tatarstan, but it's just the story of our life, the real life that takes place here. We also have feature stories as well, but nonetheless I think it's a positive effect for our image, for our brand awareness, and a lot of people saw these movies. I know that the way they reacted was positive. And this is not the end of the story, apart from having this wonderful communication, apart from the fact that every movie is now on in its own country, and people all over the world learn more about Tatarstan, about Kazan. It's also an economic factor. It's very important, due to the fact that this week, these 7 days, maybe we did not reach perfection. There are still some things that can be improved, but nonetheless, we can say that every team had the right to finish this movie during 2 more months. And once it's complete, out of these 10 movies, we made one almanac. It's called 7 Days Movies Kazan, and similar to New York almanac, New York I Love You. So it's 10 short movies that were shot here in Tatarstan, and they were unified with one topic. And this almanac is, at the moment, is ready to be shown, but unfortunately due to pandemic we're a bit restricted. But nonetheless, I hope that as soon as all the cinemas are back, people will be able to watch it. So it's a product, it's a national product. Not national meaning kokoshnik and some other stereotypes, but national product that was born here in the Republic of Tatarstan. And many people, and I think participants of this project, sometimes they were just citizens of Kazan or people that were professionally doing cinematography. They all will be very interested in watching this, so please check out the schedule in cinemas, and we hope that you will love it. You'll love this almanac. So obviously we can see the economic advantages because the money that were spent on the production, not that much, but despite the fact that it's an international project, I think it will be very nice that some participants, and I know that some of these participants are growing as professionals, are still continue working on it. So I really hope that one day they'll become very professional, famous directors, and they can say that in the very beginning of their career, one of the first movies that they made, one of the first short meter movies, they were made in Tatarstan. So apart from that, if that almanac is successful, and I hope it is successful, then we can say that we'll get some financial profits, some financial benefits, because the rights for it belong entirely to the Republic of Tatarstan. So this is the way it was, and I believe that it was not simple. Of course, it was complicated, and from the technical point of view, it was not simple, but still we can say that it's a very serious strategic area, and we can think that we are very smart and we are independent and we can do all the things by ourselves, but nonetheless, one of the ways is the sales way, and this project develops this area of expertise. It attracts new participants for mutual production. So this way we reduce the risks, and this project will live not just on the territory of the Republic of Tatarstan, but also in the countries. Participants from these countries we had during the 7 days. So we already had an announcement of the second edition of this festival for 2020, a similar one. Of course, it is postponed due to pandemic, but still we have hundreds of applications, and it's very interesting for participants, and we believe that it will get even more and more interesting, and we'll have more and more teams, stronger teams coming every year, and the project will live. So I wanted to tell you about the winners. So it's Georgi Danilan with first. It's the first prize. Geshe Moresh with Once in Kazan movie, Iran, and Yogi Parish, the movie called Chesna. It's actually Ipan because one of the main characters of the movie is a bee, pcholka in Russian. That's why Chesna meaning bee, and honestly, two words together. It's a movie made in Tarantino style. I'm not telling you about the other movies, but we are not ready to show you this almanac at the moment. It's already finished. It's on the shelf. We are waiting for it to be on. So that's why we cannot broadcast it online. We are not allowed, but we have a very nice movie, a movie about a movie, and all the participants are in this movie. They share some of their experience. They show a very short piece of each of these movies, and I can think you can feel the atmosphere of this movie, of this festival. So that is why I invite you to Kazan, and I hope you'll enjoy these festivals. Thank you very much.